Hi everyone, this is Ricky Spencer and welcome to a Sociology of Media Voices series for 2022. And today's guest, Sarah Newman, is somebody who's quite interested in providing a voice in our community. And today we're going to explore what it is that people in the community want to do to make change, and through social change, through participating in governance. Sarah, welcome. So tell us a little bit
Hi.
about Hi. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you interested in wanting to step up and get involved in the current political climate.
Hi. Um, Thanks for having me. Uh, about me. Okay, so I am a 29-year-old third-year teaching student at Deakin. My majors are history and politics. So politics is something that I've been interested in anyway for quite a long time. My own political journey and my own political will didn't really come about until I was in university the first time as a young 20s person. Um, that's when I started meeting people who were more interested in politics. It's when I started realizing just how entwined politics is with the way that we live our lives. Um, I grew up. By this point in time, my parents were divorced, and I was living in a single parent home on a low income. And I could see just how much the decisions of our politicians affected the way that we lived our lives. And I I hated that. And at the same time, I couldn't see anyone in politics, particularly like federal politics at that point in time. We're talking like early 2010s, who I felt really represented me and other people out there who weren't rich, who weren't well off, who were comfortable in life. And I got to university and I met other people who who thought the same as me and who could see the same as me. And I started getting more political and started just broadening my understanding of what politics meant and how we could be involved. It wasn't until 2019, after the 2019 election, that I decided to join the Greens, despite being a long-time voter. And that was because I was just so disheartened by the election, and just I turned around and said, I can't do nothing anymore. I can't just complain about it on social media anymore. I really want to be involved. And I turned around and joined my local Greens chapter and haven't looked back since.
Mm. And tell us, Sarah, what is it, one of the key things that sort of has driven you to kind of step aside from your pursuit of teaching into taking such a public platform?
So I haven't really stepped aside. I am still a full-time student while trying to run this campaign. With the help of my amazing campaign team, I should add. They're incredible and they help me and support me so much. But I've been going on this journey of self where I'm trying to take on opportunities that come up. And this was an opportunity that came up. And I knew that I was really passionate about the Greens policies. And I knew I was already on the campaign committee at the time. So I knew I was going to be involved with the election in some way. And I just decided to put my hand up for it. Because why not? Why shouldn't a young queer woman put their hands up to be in politics and to do this? I mean, if I can make any kind of difference for any of the communities that I'm a part of, be that the queer community or the education community or for young people, then I will count this as a win, whether I win the seat or not.
And what is it like? Like, let's explore a little bit about being part of the queer community. I guess a lot of people in recent months have seen how the issue of trans lives has been embedded in political messaging across a number of major spaces. Why do you think the positioning of trans, or I should say weaponizing trans lives in such public discourse, why do you think it's happening right now?
I think it's I think that they believe that that trans people are an easy target, that
Mm,
the population of trans people that we have in this country isn't particularly big,
mm,
but there's been furor building over it in right-wing communities and in conservative communities for a long time. Part of that is based purely on misinformation and manipulative practices. And they the government at the moment, the Liberals, and to some extent Labor as well, can believe that by doing this to trans people, that they can get votes from the conservative community because their base is in the conservative community. And
mm.
by doing that, they've just completely forgotten about the fact that they're talking about people's lives. And we have very sound research that says just how much this impacts particularly young trans people, but trans people of all ages. And I I follow a lot of trans people on social media, so I'm seeing what they're posting about what's being said and about the people who are saying it. And as a non-trans person, as a cisgender person, it's really distressing. So I can't imagine what it would be like to be a trans person hearing our politicians, people who are running our country, people who are supposed to be representing us, speaking that way about other people, and just for a few votes, really.
And what about your passion for teaching and education? Do you think, say, women have a place and space in politics that can take on leadership roles, or do you feel that identifying as a woman in some ways is weaponized against you?
In this election and in this campaign, I haven't felt like that. But I'm also in a really lucky position in this electorate where the three major candidates are all women.
Mm,
Um, so I think that kind of gender card has been taken out of this election campaign because we're all women. Um, but I've been following politics for a long time now, and I know that the political environment has an issue with women being in positions of leadership.
mhm,
We saw it with Julie Bishop. We saw it with
mm,
Tanya Plibersek. We see it constantly with women MPs being trotted out to say, no, our party doesn't have a problem with women, um, to just be that spokesperson
mm.
of,
I
no,
was,
we don't have a problem. It's fine. I'm a woman in this party and I'm completely okay with it. When we know that that's not what's happening in
mm.
actual parliamentary halls. So I think it's changing. I think we're seeing a lot more women get into politics. If you look at the Climate 200 independents, almost all of them are women. There is a big surge in women wanting to get into politics who are saying enough is enough and we're not going to put up with that kind of treatment anymore.
That's and what about your, I guess, messaging that you've seen in terms of the media, in terms of women representing themselves in politics? Do you feel that they get as much coverage as men do?
I think that all depends on what they're saying. I mean, we've seen Catherine Deves say the worst things possible, and it's getting her media attention. I think Katie Allen got media attention after crossing the floor on the religious discrimination bill. I think when women put themselves in a different position than what they're like, in a really out there position, then that's when they get media coverage. Whether that media coverage is good or bad, I think depends on what they say. I think on the whole, no, I don't think women get as much media coverage as men. But at the same time, if we're seeing more women get into politics, if we're seeing more women join political parties and stand for office, and whether that's in a political party or independently, they're going to get more media coverage. Dr. Monique Ryan in Kooyong getting a lot of media coverage and really getting her name out there in an electorate where I believe she's one of the only female candidates. That comes from having money behind her as well. But I think we are seeing a shift where the media can't ignore women in politics anymore. Particularly when they're standing up and saying, this is what's happening to me in the political environment.
Say, Sarah, you get to that position where you're successful and you end up winning a position in Parliament. What do you feel that you would like to bring towards that role?
There's so many things. Trying to just trying to wrap my head around potentially winning this seat is quite surreal. Well, I'm a young queer woman. How many people in Parliament can say that that's who they are? I want to be able to show other young women, other queer women, other young people that this is possible, that we can make a huge difference in the way our politics is run. And if we are to make a difference, then we need to be in it. We need to get in it. And I can understand that this position that I'm in right now is a really difficult one. I'm sitting here looking at my schedule going, it is absolutely jam-packed and it's stressful and it's hard. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here and doing this for my community, for the Greens community, for everyone who thinks that they can't do this. And yeah, I'm so excited to be here. If I win, fantastic. If I don't, then that's okay. I'm gonna be a teacher, and that's ultimately where I want to be and what I want to do and what I love doing. Education is such a passion of mine, and particularly education policy. So yeah, no matter what happens, I think I'm going to be in a really good place. But I hope that by standing as a candidate, that I can show people that this is possible, that it's okay to run as a candidate. And if that's not something that you're comfortable with and putting yourself out there like that, that's absolutely fine as well. But you will be supported as a candidate particularly in the Greens. I the support I've had from state office, the support I've had from other candidates and other campaign committees and my own campaign committee has been incredible. I couldn't recommend working with these people enough. Um, yeah, it's been a really wonderful experience. And I hope to see a lot more young queer people in this space because I think we're needed.
Absolutely. Sarah Newman, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, and we wish you the best in success in the coming
Thank you.
federal election, and we hope to, and we know we'll see and hear more of you in any spaces, because we need strong queer women like yourself in leadership roles, and you're already demonstrating that you're on your journey to doing that. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Ricky. This has been really great.